Welcome to the Freaks of Friendship podcast, a podcast where we talk about random shit all the time. Today, we're back to the normal schedule or normal crew. We've had a couple weeks of weird crews. Today we have Cargo, Michael, and Danny. How are you guys doing?
I am
Damien.
wonderful. Thank you for asking.
That is good. You
else
guys all
answered?
said at the same time. That was
I was
No,
gonna say
yeah.
fantastic. I was gonna.
Just me.
You're just more on the ball.
Sure.
Well, today we have a somewhat thematic podcast where we're going to talk about a decent amount about video games. It's a new thing this time. So the first topic is, if you were to speedrun a game, which game would it be?
All right. So I have my piece, but I feel like someone else should go first.
Carter would speed run Terraria.
Oh my God.
In a day.
In a day.
Obviously, like no other games. Like, what other answer do you even have?
Okay. I guess I'll just go. So I thought about this in the past, and like I've tried a couple different games. So there's a tower defense game, if you could call it that, called Kingdom Rush, and it's like a flash tower defense game, right?
Yeah, I saw Bodhi playing it or something. I think.
Yeah, I feel like it's somewhat popular. And you can speedrun it in the sense that if you place all of the towers in the correct location at the correct time, like you'll get a quick time, right? But I feel like as I was doing it and like trying to learn like which towers to place in which location, like I didn't feel like I was gaining any skill, right? Like if you have a speedrun, like let's say like Ocarina of Time or some other Zelda game, like where you're actually doing inputs, I feel like those types of games are so much more enjoyable to speedrun rather than like a puzzle game or a tower defense game, at least in my eyes. I think games where you can like learn tricks and then be able to, like in a high stakes situation like a speedrun, being able to apply those tricks, I think that's super cool. So I don't have a game in particular that I can think of, but I just feel like games in which you can like have full control over your character is prime speedrun material.
Interesting.
That's my piece.
Yeah, I think that's a big agree. I mean, like that's why I think like some speedruns, like I don't know, like Fire Emblem stuff. Like I love the Fire Emblem games. And I think the speedruns are interesting, right? But it's like it feels like there isn't a lot of mechanical stuff behind it, right? So it's kind of lacking.
It's kind of like you just solved the puzzle to do it in the fastest way possible, and you're just waiting for RNG to line up.
Yeah, you're just memorizing the strategies or whatever kind of. And sure, you still execute them quickly, right? You know, there's still some stuff behind it, right, for sure. But
yeah, that's how I feel about like Pokemon speedruns too. It's like they reset a million times until they get the perfect starter, and then they have to not get crit, or they have to crit, and they like it's just a lot of luck.
Yeah, some of that is kind of true. I guess for the Pokemon speedruns, now that I'm like really thinking about it, like the information behind it's like really crazy. Like I feel like you have to like be really, really into the game to know enough to really speedrun it.
Well, because like instead of getting to level 7, you could do it at level 6, but if you get crit, then you die. So
yeah, there's a lot of like if paths in Pokemon. I think it's like, you know, there's like damage percents. It's like, oh, I know that this might hit me. Like we have to be, this scenario means I have to do this. I guess it still is a lot of memorization, but
sure.
I feel like that's a common scenario where a lot of like the more popular games to speedrun have like an RNG element to it, and if you don't get the correct RNG, then you're just kind of screwed for the round that needs to reset.
I kind of don't like that. Like I would prefer it like if you don't get the RNG, then there's like an alternative path that you can take. But like I guess that like one of those paths will always be faster, and then
yeah, at the highest level, right? Then
you would just reset until you get that RNG result.
Yeah.
So yeah,
which is pretty unfortunate. I mean that's why I think everyone likes Mario 64 so much. Like I think there's really, really little amounts of RNG in the run, so it feels good to run and it's interesting to watch because the movement's good, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I would also say on the Mario 64 route, there's also like if you mess up a trick, you generally have a backup strat that you can go to immediately, and that really helps just the flow and like it reduces the amount of resets total. Which
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Which on that idea, I think I would like to speedrun Mario 64 just because of that aspect. You can do like the 16 star, which is a fairly short run. Even though I've never done any of the runs before, like it's a short run. You can reset a lot. I don't really want to do like OOT runs where they're like 4 hours and you can like fail when you're doing the grave
But
thing.
the OOT runs are a story. They tell a story. It's like.
But they're so long.
I'm telling you, those are the good ones, man. They're hype, and the entire run is interesting.
Are there shorter categories in Ocarina of Time, or is it just like full game 100%?
There's all I think there's like all bosses, like there's like glitchless, but like the any percent is like pretty janked up, so it's like really really quick.
Sure.
So it's like you kind of have to make. I think to make the game better, like you want to see parts of the game because like the game is really interesting. So
right, makes sense.
Great. So yeah,
So I feel like
go for it,
we've
Danny.
touched on a bunch of stuff as far as like what makes speedruns good, but we haven't really answered so much. So I guess I kind of wanted to say what I view for like things that are desirable in a speedrun would definitely be like the whole time, probably around an hour max. If it has RNG, it's probably towards the beginning. I really like movement, so like Mario 64, like that's what makes Mario 64 so cool, is that you have so much freedom with your character and like you can do crazy things. And then like the skill of executing too is like a big one, because if you have the world record in a game, you want it to actually be like something difficult to accomplish, right?
Yeah.
So my answer is easily Super Metroid.
I kind of
feel like
expected that.
It meets
Yeah.
all of those categories.
How
The
long?
only thing that I kind of would dislike about it is there is a boss in the game called Fantoon, and I think you usually run into him if you're really good around like 16 minutes. And basically, he has an RNG cycle where he can take longer or slower. I think if you're at like the top and you get like a slow, it's definitely over. But there's so many tricks to save time that like the runners wouldn't usually go for, because they're like frame perfect or almost impossible, that if you do get a worse Fantoon time, then you can like go for those to try to save your run. So I think there's so much freedom and like insane execution that makes it super entertaining. I've never actually speedrunned it, but I like to watch a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us has speedrun a game. Besides, what is your answer, Michael?
So I have dabbled in trying to learn a couple speedruns, I suppose. Initially, I watched a lot of the boy Clint Stevens, watched a lot of OT 100%, and I thought that was the greatest run of all time. And I still do. But I think the run is like absolutely ruthless to the runners. Like I think you have to be incredibly on point. Like the tricks are really, really hard. Everything's really complex. Like, and it's really long. So I think you have to be really, really into it to run it and practice it a bunch. So I kind of gave up on that and picked an easier run to start dabbling with. And I have tried to play Dark Souls. I'm doing the remastered version. And
Oh shit! Really?
I would still rather do OOT. OOT is way better, but the Dark Souls run's pretty fun. It's good.
Well, so like what Danny was saying, like where the RNG is like pretty front loaded, isn't that how it works in Dark Souls? Like you have the very first like RNG thing that you have to hit, and otherwise like 4 minutes in you can just reset. Is that right, or am I misremembering?
Yeah, like 4 minutes in, you either get like a weapon that's very strong or you don't, and then from there, if then the rest of it shouldn't be RNG. I guess there's like there's like the moves that the enemies take, but
Sure.
other than that.
So would you say that's fairly similar to how Metroid works, where there's not many RNG spots and you just have to execute all your tricks well?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's a lot of it. I will note that like that OT run though, like I think all of it is almost skill, but there's unfortunately a part in the game that's like 2 hours in that is all 100% RNG.
The graves, right?
Yeah, that feels bad.
So yeah, I mean, so like on the Metroid front, like I feel like frame perfect tricks are somewhat RNG, because you're trying to hit a 60th of a second or 30th of a second on that point, and it just gets like really hard. Just
Yeah,
mentally.
I would agree. I think but like I was saying, they're things that they don't usually go for, just because it's hard enough to get a good time, because like the game is so hard that if they were to go for those on a good run, they're probably just like wasting so much of their effort and time, because they're really unlikely to actually get it.
But see, that's why I think it's so cool. Because like if you do go for it and you're able to hit it, like you're mechanically able to do the frame perfect input, that's like super cool. And it probably saves you a bunch of time, right? So
Yeah.
like I kind of disagree with you, Chunk, saying like I don't think it's RNG at all. Because like if you're good enough and you put in enough practice, like you'll probably be able to hit the input.
Yeah, I think what's cool about it is that it kind of lines up with what we were talking about earlier about how you have different paths, right? So it's neat that even if you do mess up a trick, like you have options to save that time back, because there are ridiculously other hard tricks that you could go for.
Sure.
So kind
But
of
I just think it's cool because like your run isn't dead until it's really dead.
so on that kind of front, do you know if the top speedrun hits like the fastest possible fan tune and then hits all the frame perfect tricks?
I believe the best speedrunner is Zost, and I don't think he does. I know I watch a lot of Oats and Goats, and he occasionally goes for this strat where I don't really know what it is, but like basically you're running and then you have to jump into spikes as you get your speed up suit, and then like you get to keep it, and it's like a frame perfect trick, and it can save several seconds. And he'll go for it often, but I think I've seen him get it like once. I don't believe Zost does that. It's just like there's so many small things in execution that Zost is just significantly ahead of everybody.
So you'd say
He also practices so much.
in Metroid, like right now, there's a lot of, or Super Metroid, there's a lot of optimizations that you can that haven't been made yet.
We can go faster.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you can probably go faster. Like I think, okay, talk amongst yourselves. I need to look up the time because I'm pretty sure Zost's sum of best is like, let's say 40, low 40, okay? But then like the world record is like 41, almost 42.
Yeah, so assuming that he did the best on every single section, you'd save so much time.
Yeah, but it's like basically impossible to do that.
Not if you run it.
It goes the same for like every speedrun though. I'm sure if you look at like if we talk Mario 64 and you look at Cheese's times, I'm pretty sure his sum of best is way lower than the world record.
Right.
But there's no way he can achieve that. I mean, it's technically possible, but extremely
I think
unlikely.
that's kind of what makes the game good, though, too, is that like
Yeah.
if you really want to grind it, it's like there are those small optimizations possible, right?
Agreed.
So, Michael, I don't know much about the Dark Souls speedrun. Would you say that there's a lot of optimization that can be made on that speedrun? And like are you taking the most optimal route when you do the speedrun?
I take a pretty optimal. I'm still learning, so I take some easy route stuff, you know. It's really crazy. I mean, like I think recently, like new tricks are still being discovered within the game, and it's super sick. Like, and people are routing it differently all the time. So I don't know, the routes, even like the major route for the speedrun has changed within the past 2 months, and that's
really?
insane to me.
Yeah, that is insane.
So like I remember I was looking at the run a year ago and I started to learn that route, and I was like pretty knowledgeable about that. Came back in like 3 months later and I was like, oh, this has changed. I was like, they're doing stuff completely different, and it had new sets of tricks that I wasn't familiar with. So
this is original Dark Souls?
It's the remastered version, and there is some stuff slightly different in it. Gotcha. Not a whole lot, but
why did you decide to do the remastered over the non-remastered?
I think I don't know, it's just newer. I think there's more room for it to grow.
More people playing it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I was kind of wondering on that lines too, like does the newness of a game affect how desirable it is to speedrun? Because I feel like a lot of the most popular games that get speedrun are very old. And I don't know if it's just like new games often don't have as many exploits and like crazy optimizations you can do, or they just haven't been found. I know, what was it? Super Mario Odyssey. When that came out, that was pretty interesting to watch. And I think people have pushed the time for that pretty low, but I haven't kept up.
So,
yeah, I think the only new games that people are like really trying it, or like people are trying like Breath of the Wild, like meme runs, and then trying like Super Mario Odyssey.
So I feel like a part of the issue with like newer games is patches. Like everything's online now, so it's like when you find a good strat that just gets patched out, and it just like hurts the run. It hurts the whole community for that speedrunning.
Yeah, especially if you get the world record and then like the trick you were using to get the world record got patched, and then it's like, oh, I got the world record on patch 1 point whatever, and then it just feels bad.
I mean, there are some games out there that like the developers actively promote it, but like those are generally not like the big ones like Nintendo and stuff.
Ooh, I was gonna ask, what do you guys think of Celeste?
Oh, I think that game is sick.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've never played it. I should really buy it, but holy crap, that game looks amazing. Like if you were good at it, it would just be so much fun.
Kind of goes back to the whole movement thing.
Yeah, movement is awesome.
Well, I think we found out what games everyone would like to speedrun, and we talked about a lot of interesting points made about speedrunning. Let's move on to our next topic. Why do you think MOBAs are so popular? So you guys all play League quite a bit.
Can we define MOBA?
Well,
I actually forgot what
online battle arena.
Okay.
Oh,
Multiplayer online battle arena.
Thank you.
So basically, these games are like League, Dota, and they're like Smite. All these ones where there's like you're just trying to like get to an objective and like I don't even really know how it's described. It's just those games. But I mean, I would say League is still very popular. Like they just got done with the summer splits, and the viewer count was insane on Twitch and YouTube, and now they're going into Worlds, which is also going to bring in huge amounts of viewerness. Do you think that the popularity will end ever, and why do you think it's so popular, I guess?
So I want to start off by saying I used to hate League. I played it like a couple years ago, and I thought the idea so just for explanation's sake, you start at level 1 every single time you play the game, and then you go up to some specified level as you play, and you gain items and you gain levels and you gain abilities, yada yada yada. So I thought at that time that when you start at level 1, it felt so pointless. Like every single time you played the game, you were level 1. And like you didn't see progression in terms of your character, and I hated that. I thought that was the most dumb thing. But then I think as I kept playing or whatever, it became less about like the characters like progression and more so about like your own personal progression. So like being able to pull off combos or something that you weren't able to do before, and like seeing that growth is like super super fun and rewarding in terms of like the gameplay. So I don't think MOBAs are going to go anywhere because, I mean, I just think that you have like the personal like growth through, like learning your character, learning the game, but then also like it's multiplayer. You can play with your friends. Like, I think that's a big point of it too. I don't know. What do you guys think?
So I think you're kind of hitting it. So you got the multiplayer. So you play with your friends, and then all you guys like play together. And even if you lose, you're still going to have a good time because you're playing with your friends. I mean, not always, but most of the time. Most of the time. And then I think what's kind of interesting about League, I haven't really played any other MOBAs, but it's a game where even if you're bad, like you still kind of have a good time if you're against people of a similar rank to yourself, just because there are so many players in the game that the matchmaking system can hopefully do a good job and put you with people of similar skill levels. And then also like, where was I going with this? Like, it just feels good to like, as you play the game, you get more gold and levels, and like you see your character become stronger, and then like you get to kill people, which is always fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I think League does really well, or at least the MOBA format does, that like encourages like replayability, right?
Yeah,
because like it's really like there's like seeing the gold pop up, right? It's like every single little bit of gold you get, it's like a little dopamine shot. It's like, oh yeah, it's 21 gold. Oh, 60 gold. It's like, and then it's like, oh, 300 to kill. Yes, it's like how good. So I think there's that those like mechanics are really rewarding, right? It always feels good to like stomp, and I think the desire to stomp and to win like outweighs like the how bad it feels to lose. It's like you just want, you're chasing the dragon always. You want the win.
The highest of highs are better than the lowest of lows.
I think so. I
I would agree with that. Because when you feel on top, like it's insane. You just feel so powerful.
Yeah, like you can just go fight the whole enemy team.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like I've been around you guys play the league for many years now, and I've felt the lowest of lows that you guys have felt before.
Listen, there's definitely high highs and low lows. Sometimes you lose 7. I have literally lost 10 games in a row.
I've lost
At some
far
point.
more than that, Daniel.
I have also won 10 games in a row. And when you're winning 10 games in a row, you can do no wrong. Everything you do is right. You're just Mr. Perfect. You're as high as you can be. It's great. But then when you lose 10 games in a row, everything you do is wrong. And you gotta deal with the opposite.
But also, like, the thing is, like, I think about, we have our friend Jeff, and who was on the podcast.
Oh,
And
was it?
I 100%.
Yeah, no, he
we are
wasn't.
totally.
Yeah.
He was
Jeff,
not on the podcast.
Jeff has not been on the podcast.
Oh, yet. He has not been on a podcast yet, is what I meant to say.
Anyway.
But anywho, friend of ours, we suckered him back into league. He quit, and because all of us play, or some of us play, we kept on being like, "Oh, Jeff, you want to play with us? You want to play with us? You want to play with us?" And eventually, there'll be the day where Jeff doesn't have much going on, and then he finally plays with us. If he has a good time, then there he is, grinding out on his own now. We've tricked him.
So grinding out on the own aspect is interesting. Danny, you talked about like friends and playing with friends. You guys play so much solo ranked games because it's solo duo, and that it's like, are you really playing with friends all that often in the grand scheme of all your league career?
Maybe not, but I think if I didn't play with friends at all, League would be a lot less enjoyable.
So you would say you would do it just to get better, and then you can play with your friends and like show off your newfound prowess of the game?
I think that's certainly an aspect of it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like the main motive. I think the main motive for me is just like, first off, I enjoy playing the game most of the time, and then it's kind of like during the quarantine, I don't have that much that I could do whatever I want, right? But of things I find fun, there's not that much I would want to do. Like I'd want to, go outside. I had a goal to visit all the state parks, and I think now it's kind of becoming more reasonable. But at the beginning, it was definitely super scary. But anyway, I think like I kind of enjoy being able to set a goal for myself of like a rank. So I guess like the first year I played League, I wanted to get to gold. I guess the first year I played, I didn't really play ranked, and then I like joined really late. But then my first season, I tried to get to gold. Next season, I tried to get to platinum. And this season, I'm hoping I can end on diamond, but we'll see. And it's nice to have something to work towards, I guess.
That's interesting. So, I would on that front, I'd question: is that this? Do you have a similar goal with that, Michael and Cargo? Like, is that why you play League, or do you have like different aspirations?
I definitely have more phases, So I was in a big phase. I wasn't playing very much solo queue for a while. I was kind of just chilling, playing with you guys. But Danny's grind inspired me, and I was like, oh man, I should get back on. I was previously a diamond player, and then I was like, I gotta get back up there. So now I have the diamond goal again. It's like, let's make it one more time.
I think part of the inspiration too is when we play Clash, which is like it's a tournament within the client that you can get like 5 of your friends and then all queue up for. It's just like, I really want us to win Clash. It's like so bad. We played like 12 times and we've lost every time. We usually don't do very good.
We are literally one of the worst Clash teams, I think, out there. We have played 19 weeks and never won.
Holy crap, we've played Clash 19 times.
Right? It's like something like that. We've played Clash like almost every single weekend, or at least for like one day.
I mean, we've been playing it for like a year and a half.
And we've never won.
I moved here. Yeah, we've never won.
That sounds so.
But guess
unfortunate.
what? Next month we'll be back.
I mean, this time you're gonna have a full squad, right? Of people who play.
Yeah.
We've had full squads, but we've lost with many full squads. We've lost with some randos. We've let a lot of random people down, is all I will say. We have recruited a lot of people off Discords to play with us, and we have let every single one of them down.
At one time we got second. That was the peak.
That
We
was a
got
peak. That
second?
was a peak. Yeah, that was one
Yeah.
time. One time. So 19 weeks and one time we got second.
Wow. Wow.
It just sounds
We're-
bad.
Literally the Dolphins of Clash.
Well, wait. So, what was Danny's reason for playing? I kind of.
Oh, it's like I lose Clash, okay? Or it's even like, okay, this last time we played Clash last weekend, I think, or the weekend before. And I was playing solo queue before. I was doing really good. I'm like, okay, I can do good for the team. I think we have a good shot. I think Mo is playing pretty good too. I think everybody was playing good. We were all playing together in normal games and we were stomping. And then we get to Clash and we just lose. And it's not like we were getting crushed. I think one of the games we got crushed. But in general, they're close games. We just kind of fall apart. And it's just like, I want to win those.
We want to
I think
win
it just-
together.
It motivates you to try to get better, or at least me.
So Cargo,
Sure.
Danny's reasoning was he wanted to reach Diamond by the end of this season. Like he wants to rank up. He wants to get good.
Get good
Yeah. And why do you play League? Because I know
I
you
play
don't play
League
ranked.
for
That's
the
much.
homies. I do not play ranked. I got to gold so that I could get my reward at the end of the season, and I no longer play ranked. I play for the homies. I don't know. I just play to have fun. I play like the meme modes, like Earth and One for All, and the out of regular modes. But yeah, I don't play ranked because I don't know.
I feel
don't-
like part of the thing is like, Carlo, you know so much about League of Legends now. Like, you know 140 champions, right? You know all their abilities. Like, you know all the 200 items in the shop now, right? Like, think about how much knowledge you've invested into League of Legends.
True.
And then it's like they're like, hey, it's like we're gonna release some sort of like janky format. It's like you want to like screw around with it, and you're like, well, I have all this knowledge in this topic. It'd be interesting.
Wait, are you saying like that's why I play the fun modes?
I'm
or-
saying maybe. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of a factor is that you already have so much base knowledge. With
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah. So I am kind of interested, Cargo. I know maybe you're not always grinding, but a lot of the time I'll see you like play a ton of ARAM or a ton of whatever the rotating game mode is. Like even without us, and obviously we still play together a good amount. But I am curious, like what motivates you to play that by yourself, just for the fun?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I do have a lot of fun playing it. I think the fun part about those games is it's different than the normal like draft or clash games that we play together, where you have a strict single character per team per match kind of thing, and like being out of the ordinary is fun to kind of explore the game in a different way. But yeah, I mean, you're definitely right. I definitely grind the meme modes. So I don't know. I guess I don't know why I play them as much as I do. I would have said prior to yesterday or whatever that I played to unlock all the champions, but now I've accomplished that goal. So I don't know what I'm going to do with my life anymore. No reason, like there's no attainable reason to play League anymore outside of just playing with friends and having a good time. So, but like I'm not going to stop, right? Like I'm still going to play the meme games, but I guess I don't have a reason.
Unlike
other
all the
than-
skins, Karg.
Yeah, that's never
Oh,
going to
God.
happen.
Oh,
No.
that would be bad for your wallet. Bad
Yeah,
for
I
your wallet.
I don't have the money.
Dude, think about like each like say they release like 9 skins at a time, right? Say you're gonna buy all the skins straight up with just money, right? I think it would be like $100, right?
Yeah, they're super expensive.
Yeah, and there's like one event every other month or something.
Yeah, let's say they come out with a new skin line like every 2 weeks or something. So it's like every 2
weeks.
Yeah, I think so.
Honestly, that sounds pretty. Like
Maybe
how
it's
it is.
maybe it's a little bit longer, but let's say it's even 3 weeks. So you're spending $100 every 3 weeks. That's an expense. At that point, that's
Well,
yeah,
I mean, at that point, you got a problem. Like a problem for your wallet, maybe not your gaming addiction.
oh, big time, big time.
So
segue.
I guess to wrap it around back to the topic, do you guys think the MOBA genre is popular because of the fact that you can play with friends and there's like a goal that you guys can get better at, and it's in like I would say a lot of games are like that, but is that the reason why you think that the MOBA genre has gotten so popular?
I will
All I'm
cut
saying
in.
is we have
Sorry.
tricked you. We have tricked you into playing MOBAs with us, Strong saying. So clearly the genre is somewhat successful for getting people to play with their friends.
I mean, I'm still level 20. I can't even play ranked yet. You really haven't tricked me. I just want to hang out sometimes.
Oh, yet.
Well, I was gonna say,
But you've
like,
still played.
I think one of the biggest things that MOBAs have going for, I mean, I'm saying in terms of League because I haven't played any other ones, but I think there's a play style for everyone. Like you can play any character and play how you want to play the game, whether that is, like a normal way to play the game or not. Like you have complete control over how you play. So I think that's another big thing. So yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's going to stay popular forever.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to ask Mo, so because I wasn't around League when it like first got popular. I played. I think they've been doing seasons for what 10 now, and then I know League was out even before that. And for reference, every season's like a year basically. So Mo, you were around League towards the beginning, right? Like, what was it like then? Like, was it still blowing up?
I played in season 1, but I didn't get 30 until like season 2, and I didn't play ranked until like season 3. I mean, the game was insane back then. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason anyone does anything. I mean, people just, like now there's so many people have played in, like there's such a science behind it. People just did random stuff all the time and just do whatever wherever. But I know back then, I mean, the biggest driving factor again was, like, I mean, I had a group of friends on Skype that were saying like, "Hey, we're gonna play some League," and we'd all go and have a good time just messing around. It was a lot. I think a lot of the fun is in the early days was just doing random stuff. I mean, no one had any like, "Oh, you'll play this role or this position." It's just like we'll just do whatever strat we can come up with. I don't know. I mean, I was banned off of Dota. I can say that when I played Warcraft 3 as a young kid, tried to get into the Dota scene. I saw it had custom games all the time. I went into a game. I didn't understand how to play and fed, and then they banned me. So,
are you kidding?
100%. I was
Wow.
banned in like my first game of Dota, and I made another account, tried to play Dota again, got banned again because I was just not. I didn't know at all what I was doing.
Wow.
They expected you to know things, and I did not.
Wow.
It's pretty hard to get banned in League unless you say some very, very bad things.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like the community back then was, I guess, a little bit more harsh to some degree. Yeah, it's just you did. I was profusely bad and not supposed to be playing these rated games. So they said never again will you play with us. I then went back to playing tower defense games. I found those a little bit more easy to join in on.
It's probably a good thing that you didn't play Dota because it's clearly not the most popular one out there.
I'll have you know, I played some games of Han as well. Heroes of Newerth. What a MOBA.
Well, for reference, I've never heard of that game. So
Yeah, so
Didn't really last. Didn't really last.
I had like one more thing I wanted to touch on for the popularity. Because right now it feels like because League is so popular, it's easy for it to stay that popular because they just keep releasing new things. And then I also think I would actually say the reason I got into League is because you guys were into it, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to play. But then I watched Worlds with you guys one time, and Worlds is like the final tournament for League at the end of the year, and it's just really entertaining to watch. Even if you don't know much about League, like the commentary's good. There's so much going on, and like a lot of people get hype, and that's always something fun to experience.
it's the Melee effect.
Yeah.
You watch a cool Melee tournament, you want to play Melee. You watch a cool League of Legends tournament, you want to play League of Legends. Just how it works.
I feel like that's like the Worlds tournament we watched together. I just remember falling asleep watching C9, unfortunately. It was so freaking late. But I mean, it was like at least hype to stay up for it and like all get hyped for it for a while. But I do remember being a bit of a grind too to try and stay up and watch.
Yeah, they're usually at really bad hours for American viewers.
Yeah, for NA.
That is a good point. Like overall, like I feel like MOBAs are very entertaining to watch because like even though I don't really play too much League, like I still watch LCS and LEC and all the different countries League tournaments.
Yeah,
And
Riot
yeah,
did an amazing job with like the esports scene and like fostering its growth.
yeah,
Like an esport I watched a lot growing up, which was like the biggest esport on Twitch, like StarCraft 2, right? Was one of the almost the only things on Twitch at the time. There was like a little bit of League of Legends in its early stages. I'm back on Justin TV. There's a little bit of CS:GO, but StarCraft 2 was huge, and Blizzard didn't support it at all. And StarCraft 2 died. And then you have Riot Games, which is like super into its esports scene, doing everything it can to promote it. And here it is.
yeah, I think that definitely helps them. Like just a supportive company. I think overall we've brought up a lot of good points on why MOBAs are popular. Like whether like because you play with friends, because you can rank up, because it's a very enjoyable thing to watch, because the company supports it, the overall esports scene. Um, And thus, we move on to our final topic, which I mean, it kind of relates to the past couple topics where definitely play a lot of video games. Obviously, um, we've played them since we were probably a very young age. Like we grew up with video games, and we just yeah, it's just been in our lives constantly. You guys think we are addicted to video games? Like on average, I guess how many hours do you think you play a video game a week?
That is an
Too much.
ungodly number, and I don't even want to think about it.
Here's something that I want to bring up. So I feel like when we're going to talk about addiction, we kind of have to define it in some ways. And I think the biggest thing about defining addiction, if we all agree, is the compulsion part of it, right? It's when you're not doing it that you feel this compulsion, you feel this discomfort when you're not playing video games, right? And where it's negatively, in fact, impacting other parts of your life, right?
I
Agreed.
agree.
So I mean, obviously, all of us play a lot of video games for long hours, right? So I think it's kind of like when you are doing other activities, maybe you're cooking food, hanging out with friends or something. Do you like in your back of your mind, are you thinking about playing video games? When do I next get to play video games? When do I next get this rush?
Was that a
Once in a
question?
while.
Yeah, I guess because I think that's kind of like when it turns into addiction is like when you have the thought in the back of your mind when you're only looking forward to the next time that you kind of play video games.
I think it depends. I think it kind of ebbs and flows. I think it also depends on like how hype the game you're currently playing is to you. Does that make sense? Maybe
Yeah,
not.
for sure.
So like so like take League for example. So like if you're at the end of a season, like you're probably not that hyped to play League unless you're addicted to it, whatever. But like as soon as you hear about the next season, like you probably start thinking about it. You think about all the new items, all the new champions, the new format. Like there's like a bunch of hype built around the new stuff coming in. So like I know with me with World of Warcraft or League of Legends or whatever, like on those season changes, on the new expansions, those kinds of things. Yeah, I definitely like think about it like a lot of my day. Like I think about when I can get home and hop on the game, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
So I kind of agree. I feel like League is interesting because I think I go through times where I feel like I'm sort of addicted to it, and then times where it's just whatever. Like I think I guess a good like benchmark for myself is usually if I was to go home for like 2 weeks and not be able to play League, would it affect me? And usually the answer, I would say almost every time the answer has been no. Like I wouldn't really care if I didn't play League for 2 weeks. And I think back to other games that I remember spending ridiculous amounts of time on. And when I was a grade school or middle schooler, I played so much RuneScape. And I definitely think I was addicted to RuneScape as a little kid. Like, I remember I don't have the best like memories of my emotional state back then, but I could easily see myself back then getting angry if I wasn't allowed to play because I like had to do homework or something. Like I don't know. I definitely think that during that time period, I guess is like my benchmark for how for how I feel when I think of being addicted to video games. And I don't think I've ever come close to being that invested. I guess, but
So
it kind of links back to like why do we spend so much time on them then? Are we addicted?
So I guess my question would be there is even when you're in a lull for a league, like you're not really enjoying it as much and you're just like not gonna play it for 2 weeks, do you still have a desire to play video games outside of that? Like, are you gonna play like a Pokemon game? Or are you gonna play like a Switch game? Or are you gonna play like a different game that's not League, just to fill in that void that League leaves? Any of you guys
Uh,
can answer that?
yeah, I was just gonna say real quick. I think sometimes, like, let's say I have a bad time in League and I don't feel like playing. Usually, I will just like put the game down, and then it'll be like I'll see something cool, kind of like what Cargo said. Like you watch a League tournament and you're like, I want to play League. So something like that'll happen, or I don't know. I feel like I strayed from your question. I was just gonna say, I think I would do other things with my time. So I might play a different video game like Pokemon, or I might watch some TV. Maybe I go outside. Who knows? But yeah, that's all I got.
Interesting. So you say you'd probably you wouldn't have to play video games if you weren't very into League at the current moment.
I think if I didn't enjoy video games, I wouldn't play them.
I mean, obviously. But
Yeah, but that, I mean, I feel like that's core when you're talking about addiction, right? Like you think about people, this is completely different, but addicted to drugs. Do they enjoy doing drugs? Maybe,
it's all
but
about the
they
high,
feel
the
the
I mean,
compulsion and the need to do it.
Do you ever feel like there's been do you think there's been times where trying to get the next video game fix has impacted your life negatively? You know?
Yeah,
I would
probably.
answer that as a no, because like even if I'm at work thinking about going home and playing WoW, like I have nothing else to do when I get home, so there's no downside to me wanting to go home and to play WoW.
Here's an interesting question though. Have you ever stayed up too late playing a video game?
You know who you're talking to.
I mean, I think we all know that
I will
we've
go
all
on the
done-
record and and admit that I occasionally stay up past my bedtime to continue playing video games. I do indeed.
and
is
we
that
all
go ahead.
we all do it. We all do it. We all do it.
And yeah, like, is that a negative aspect to it? I would say yes.
See, I think it's interesting though because Cargo, even if you weren't playing video games, knowing you as a person, I feel like you would still stay up past your bedtime doing something else.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I agree with you.
So you just be addicted to something else, huh?
I'd be addicted to guitar.
So I guess I kind of want a straight answer. Do you guys think you are? Just say it's a yes or no question. Do you guys think you guys are addicted to video games?
Nah.
I mean, the first sign of an addict is denying that you have a problem. Right? So of
Yeah,
course
you're
I
right.
don't. No, none of us have problems.
I'd say at the moment, no, but in the past, sure.
Sure.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Chongsing, are you an addict?
I mean, I definitely play a lot of video games, but I'd say I'm more of an addict of different things. If we did qualify those as addictions, I would not say it's video games.
They just need to come out with a K-pop video game. Chongsing's in the gutter.
Or just or just YouTube videos in general.
K-pop MOBA.
Dude, imagine if you could earn coins for watching YouTube videos, and the more YouTube videos you watch, the more currency you got.
Oh, dude! Imagine like a gotcha game or whatever, or gotcha game. Maybe not gotcha. Imagine it's like you collect your K-pop waifus, right? And you have them battle other like K-pop waifus, and then like you have the highest tier bands, right? As the top tier.
Just sounds like
Wait,
Fire Emblem
yeah.
Yes,
That's
it
what I was
definitely
thinking.
is.
Fire Emblem Heroes, but for K-pop.
It would be amazing, but you probably have to get the rights to use all these K-pop people, right? For your game, and that probably costs like $1 million.
I mean, I just want to say I'd probably not play that game just because
Oh,
I only
no
care
way.
about I only care about like one group and that's it. So
I mean, then they would be the highest priced group.
Probably.
So you'd have to grind to get them.
regardless, I'd care more
you.
about physical commodities over like the virtual stuff. But back to the original topic.
He wants the bath water.
Right.
Physical commodities.
So like yeah, I would say I'm not addicted to video games. Like there's times where I would say honestly, I don't have many compulsions to play video games. I enjoy playing with you guys, and I'll do that if like I'm bored. I'll play video games, but like I don't like if I'm doing something else like talking with people. I almost never like go like I really want to play this game right now and just like say screw like what I'm currently doing to play that video game. Like overall in that aspect. Yeah, I guess I don't really know what video game addiction would look like. It would just be like playing like every single day and all that stuff.
Until it negatively affects your life.
Middle school Danny playing RuneScape.
Middle
Right.
school Zach playing World of Warcraft.
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's definitely been phases where I played video games a lot when I was younger, but that was more because I didn't have anything else to do, I would say, and I was a lonely child. But anyways, that's pretty all good points. Today, I mean, we talked about like what games we would want to speed run, and there's a decent amount of different topics for that. Why we thought MOBAs were so popular, and if we thought the popularity would ever end, and whether or not we were addicted. I think we brought up a lot of different good points on all those topics. Thank you all for coming with me. Thank you all for listening as well. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Meme.
Hit the button. Hit the notification bell to get notified next time we go live.
Definitely.
Thank you all for listening.
Thank you all. Goodbye.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace. Bye.